Let's try to actually make a show happen here. Hold on one second. Let me say, hey, there you go. Welcome to the show, everybody. How you doing? Probably dead. You think you're dead now? Wait till you watch some of what we have to cover tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's weekend at Donnie's time again, and you know that thing I told you guys about how there's going to be a 4 hour window for Trump very soon. I was being just super generous, saying it's like next spring at the absolute outside. There would be this thing where he just genuinely useless the rest of the time, and they don't dare put him in a room with another human being. We're already there. I mean, for real. Like, they are crowbarring everything they can into a 3 hour window. And if the travel around him gets, if he's late getting there or whatever, they just cancel. They just punt it. Yeah. Well, and again, people are like, he's useless all the time. It's already here. Well, like on a moral, intellectual, and personal level, I completely agree. I'm talking about just the mechanics of what they're trying to get him to do. Hi, chat room, greatest chat room in the world. What's going on? There you go. Facebook's okay. I got a little warning when I started the show on Facebook that was telling me to edit the title. That's a first. And I don't know if the edit is like, we're going to throttle your show if you don't, or if you want to optimize. I can't quite tell the difference from my end. I can't see whether, but yeah, the speech, we're going to cover that tonight. Because good Lord. I mean, in a normal world, we'd be covering the fact that Eric wants to be able to use Bitcoin to buy and sell human beings. And the fact that ICE agents are shoving photographers to the ground rather than have people film their stuff, which, by the way, you can't stop just by shoving the only person who has there's literally enough cameras around because of phones that people could film the photographers. It's just stupid at this point. Democrats had a meeting on the steps. Everybody's out there. For all the Democrats aren't doing anything, who, by the way, undermined them by not voting last time. You know who you are. Yeah, this is yeah. There you go. Sorry. Social media wants everyone to be nice to Kirk, Trump, Vance, etc. Well, Kirk is dead, so you can't be. And no one gives a shit if you're nice to JD Vance, even people in the fucking White House. I'm sorry to tell you, like, that's just a reality. Also, Thune is coming out basically trying to do this big sales pitch that, like, look, we're just trying to pass a clean CR till November so that we can negotiate. And that's not the case at all. There's a window of stuff that they want to sign on. They basically want checks to stop going out the door based on the big BS bill. And there's reason for this action now. And it wouldn't change anything. Basically, what they're trying to do is punt it closer to Christmas so they can hang that over Democrats' heads. Like, if you're going to fire a bunch of people and do all your shit, then do it now and take your lumps, is essentially what the Democrats are saying to the Republicans. And Trump wants to fire everybody. Now, everybody was like bitching at Schumer for going with a CR and not doing something last time. That's what he was offered this time, and they said no, nothing doing. So we'll see if everybody congratulates him on taking this. I doubt they will. If anything, there's no standard whatsoever. Here's some Canuck bucks you could transfer to Gilead. But oh, thank you. Yes, I'll turn that into some sort of my Sparks meme coin that I'll create. Meanwhile, this is really what's going on. They dragged generals and lieutenants and like 1 star through 4 stars and company leaders, like all these people down so that Hegseth could give a fucking, like, I don't know, like a TED talk to these guys about what real leadership is, like he would ever fucking know. That part of it was just embarrassing beyond measure. But Trump decided that he wanted to barnacle onto it. He wasn't going to let Hegseth have this, like, his moment in the sun, and stand out in front of him, right? Also, I would like to say for this, like, he increasingly looks like shit. And so my function window argument, I think, is gaining ground by the hour. And the expectation that he might have yet another in a series of ischemic strokes or whatever the fuck is going on with him, there's an argument that he may have had one during this speech. And certainly that he's on a hard fade. So we'll dive straight in, so I won't own your entire evening, but god damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary of War.
Oh, this is his whole speech too? Or no? Oh, he comes out and introduces him. Okay.
Well, you've heard from me, so now it's the main event.
I forgot. Yeah, this is... I want to remind everybody, their bench is so deep, and they have so many people that want to work with the administration and be on the board of peace and all that shit, that they're just overflowing with people that can't wait to throw themselves in front of a microphone and blather on about how great Trump is doing. I'm just fucking with you. Everybody has to do 10 jobs because everyone else that knows what the fuck they're doing has made a break for the doors.
In Chief, I have the privilege every single day of watching him put America first, of ensuring that our warfighters have everything they need. His compass is clear. He's easy to follow.
Okay, let's just assume right out of the gate that every definitional phrase that he's putting out there to clarify what he thinks is awesome about Trump is something he is blatantly aware the exact opposite is true. This is like, okay, what am I going to do to intro him? Every day what you go through, what he says and how he acts. Yeah, just say he does the opposite and go back out there.
Because he has our back.
Well, he's never going to be in front.
Thinking backstage, the man who was the commander-in-chief when the War Department was created was George Washington. The man who was president when the War Department was reestablished is President Trump. And
yeah, they're basically the same. I think the closest thing is that their teeth are interchangeable.
He found out about this gathering of senior leaders. He said,
he didn't find out about it. You called it.
I would be honored to come.
Yeah, that's what he said. He asked very nicely.
To address and thank the incredible Americans who defend our nation. He has a heart full of gratitude and love for what you do, and we get a chance to see it every day. And I'm honored that this morning you all firsthand get to see it as well. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what they're going to see. Also, by the way, these are all lifelong military leaders. They've all served in infantry. A lot of them have seen action. They know what real leadership is. They don't need a fucking learning annex class on it from some poser dickhead and Admiral Bone Spurs.
Join me in welcoming the 45th and 47th President of the United States, our Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump.
Can he not hold his head up anymore? Is it all just going to be, is it spinal at this point? Because everybody was talking about, how Biden had a stiff spine issue. Trump is just always hunched and kind of this meandery walk everywhere. Was the guy? Was the guy?
Thank you very much, Pete. Great job you're doing, too. Fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
I've never walked into a room so silent before. This is very... Oh, don't laugh. Don't laugh. You're not allowed to do that. You know what? Just have a good time. And if you...
Yeah, it's a party. They flew 8,000 miles or got pulled off of important missions. away from like dire national security threats to sit here and listen to you blather for an hour and a half, and you tell them have fun.
You applaud. And if you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want. And if you
Except leave.
don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room.
Nope.
There goes your rank, there goes your future. But you just feel nice and loose, okay? Because we're all on the same team. And I was told that, sir, you won't hear a murmur in the room. I said, we got to loosen these guys up a little bit. So you just have a good time. But I want to thank Secretary Hegseth,
Wow.
General Kane, General Raisin Kane for a reason they call him that.
Because he used to be General Grape Cane, but he got older.
When I heard his name, I said, you're the guy I'm looking for. Did you?
Because of the anti-biblical nature of the whole thing, where Cain would be the brother that killed Abel, and you have no idea what the fucking Bible says. So even though it's an ironic title, and I don't think Dan Cain has any issue with that in particular, it's particularly curious if you've got the QAnon crowd puffing you up, bone spurs.
Chiefs of staff and so many others in this room who together represent the greatest and most elite fighting force in the history of the world, the United States military. We're very proud of our military. I rebuilt the military during my first term. It's one of the greatest achievements. We had the greatest economy in history, and I built the military. Those are the two things.
I got it. He's now defaulted back to glory days. Some little young girl's eyes, glory days. Like everything is just a callback to stuff that he thinks no one will bother to refute. So they think it must. He assumes they think it must. He must believe that they must believe him that he's really like it was the greatest economy ever. No, it wasn't. It's never I guess you can't go wrong saying that to a room of people who literally can't tell you no because you're the commander in chief. So no, there's nowhere better to like blather out those lies.
Say more than anything else. And I also kept us safe at the borders. We had very good borders. We didn't have people coming in from jails and prisons and everything like took place over the last 4 years. They'll never forget what happened to this country over the last 4 years with.
Yes, yeah, we know. You not being president, apparently that was the thing.
The incompetence. There could be no higher honor than to serve as your commander-in-chief. It is a great
Yeah, that's the part he has to read.
honor. I look at you, you're just incredible people. Central casting, I might add. To each and every one of you,
No. They're not performers. It's not a TV show. These people put their actual lives on the line, their entire futures. They write off any other things they might want to do in their lives to dedicate themselves to the military. You fucking second generation rich kid asshole.
thank you for your unwavering devotion to the armed forces and to the country that we've all sworn a sacred oath to defend. We all have that oath, every one of us. I'm thrilled to be.
Yeah, you're just like them. Yeah, you, Admiral Bone Spurs. You basically, when you took your oath, you took the same oath they did, and it's basically you're a war hero at this point. I mean, I don't know why you don't just give yourself the Medal of Honor.
This morning to address the senior leadership of what is once again known around the world as the Department of War. I know Pete spoke about it. He gave a great speech, I thought. Great speech.
Didn't watch it. He didn't watch it. There's no fucking way he was sitting back there watching whatever, like a 40-minute speech.
I don't want him to get
Unless he was watching Fox and they played.
good. I hate that. You know? No, I hate it. I almost fired him. I said, you can't, I don't want to go on after that. No, he gave a great speech, but he talked about Department of War. We were sitting there. I said, didn't it used to be called the Department of War? And he goes, yes, sir. They changed it like in the early 50s. So we won the First World War. We won the Second World War.
Oh, did we?
Everything in between.
I think usually it's better if you just say America won, or helped win, clearly. But we especially, it has a weird angle on it when you dodge the draft with the help of your dad and one of his like rent-a-doctors.
Everything before that. We only won. And then we went, in a way, woke. That was probably the first sign of wokeness. And we changed it to defense instead of war. And I said,
He's basically insulting everything these guys have done with their lives for the last 50 years. Because nobody there is fucking 70 in the audience.
what do you think? How do you think if we changed it back? Would that be a nice idea? And Pete loved it immediately. Some people thought about it. You know, they gave it a little thought.
Did they a little? All right, well, you know, at least they did their homework.
In the end, we did it. And I have to be honest, it's so popular. I thought it would be met with fury on the left, but they're sort of giving up, I must be honest with you. They've had it. They've had it with Trump. They've been after me for so many years now. Here we are. Here we are. Come to the White House anytime you'd like. No, they've given up.
He means because he has to meet with them after this, and he already broke the other meeting order. So after this speech, that was when he had the meetings with the Democrats and like about the the shutdown.
A lot of bad people, but all over, that's been so popular. It's been a very popular. I really thought that we were going to have to sort of fight it through. There's been no fight. There's been no fight. Like what I called the Gulf of America, the Gulf of America, because to me it was always the Gulf of America. I could never
Yeah, that's what most people thought of it that way too. Yeah.
understand. We have 92% of the frontage.
It's true. We do have 92% of the frontage. And Mexico has 100% of the backage.
And for years, actually 350 years, they were there before us. It was called the Gulf of Mexico. I just had this idea. I'm looking at a map. I'm saying, we have most of the frontage. Why is it Gulf of Mexico? Why isn't it the Gulf of America? And I made the change, and it went smoothly. I mean, we had a couple of fake news outlets that refused to make the change. And then one of them, AP, took us to court, and we won. And the judge, who was a somewhat liberal judge, said, the name is the Gulf of America, because AP refused to call it the Gulf of America. They wrote, they're not a good outfit, by the way. They call it the Gulf of Mexico. I said, no, the Gulf of America.
I'm so glad these generals stopped what they were doing, protecting the United States from foreign threats, to come and listen to this dickhead blather about rebranding.
The name. And the judge actually said that, in fact, you can't even go into the room because what you're doing is not appropriate. The name is the Gulf of America. Google Maps changed the name. Everybody did, but
You can't even go into the room? What? Wait, what?
the name is the Gulf of...
Hold on.
No, the Gulf of America is the name. And the judge actually said that, in fact, you can't even go into the room because what you're doing is not appropriate. The name is the Gulf of...
Sorry, there's a special room for addressing bodies of water?
America. Google Maps changed the name. Everybody did, but AP wouldn't. And then we won in court. How about that? Isn't that so cool? The secretary...
It is. It's so cool.
Hegseth beautifully described the name change reflects far more than the shift in branding. It's really a historic reassertion of our purpose and our identity and our pride. That's when we go with the word war. And you know, we want war because...
Sorry, we have war pride now? Holy shit.
We want to have no wars, but you have to...
But when we have a war, we want to be proud of it. So basically what he's saying is like that big military parade he had was a big pride march, I guess. That's exactly how he wants everybody to look at it.
You know, sometimes you have to do it. I have settled so many wars since we're here. We're here almost 9 months, and I've settled 7. And yesterday we might have settled the biggest of them all, although I don't know. Pakistan, India was very big. Both nuclear powers, I settled that.
No, you didn't. They settled it on their own.
But yesterday could be the settlement in the Middle East. That hasn't happened for 3,000 years. I said, how long?
How long has this been going on? 3,000 years. We can fix that this week.
You've been fighting 3,000 years, sir. That's a long time.
No, they didn't say that. No one said how long. He didn't ask. Oh my God. How long have you been fighting? About 3,000 years. You look great.
But we got it, I think, settled. We'll see. Hamas has to agree.
Yeah, I suppose that would be a part of it. Yeah. You mean the side you're not meeting with in your own office?
And if they don't, it's going to be very tough on them, but it is what it is. But all of the Arab nations, Muslim nations have agreed.
No, actually, no. Apparently, you changed a bunch of the fucking details after the meeting with Netanyahu, and a bunch of the Europeans. Hold on, drink. A bunch of the European countries were like, they got pissed. Hold on. Because this literally was like a story like yesterday, right after his stupid meeting. Middle Eastern leaders, Trump, Gaza plan, whatever. Let's see. World awaits months. Yeah, that's the 10. Where's there? Plan pros and media ends. If ceasefire, that was in the conversation. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, everybody joined in on it, and then as soon as he came out and said what was in it, they all went, "Hang on a second, that's not what we were promised." So yeah, so all the parties, all the thing. Let's realize people say, yeah, it's all SEO'd. The Trump Gaza plan's genius lies in its inevitable failure. That's the title of a Middle East Forum article. Hamas is trying to 3 or 4. Yeah, they got 3 or 4 days to respond. These leaders. Yeah, here's the, okay, there's the one. Trump is like, yeah, these are the earlier ones. Hold on. It's the conversation. Most Arab countries are back in the 20-point sketch. Officials from these countries reportedly met their U.S. counterparts on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Multiple reasons for backing. Arab Muslim leaders just want the mass killing of Gaza civilians to stop. Gaza, the ministry says over 66,000 Palestinians have been killed. At the same time, they're concerned about regional security. This is the Trump peace plan. Yeah, here's the story so far. This is Hamas's reaction. Trump peace plan ignores the interests of the Palestinian people. Hamas official tells the BBC. I mean, it's basically done. And look at that. You can clean that up in a week, can't you? Uh-huh.
Israel has agreed. It's an amazing thing. It just came together.
Of course Israel agreed. It's their plan.
War is very strange. You know, you never know what's going to happen with war.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they know that. You guys know that.
The easiest one of them all is Putin. I said, number one, it's a war that would have never happened if I were president of the election.
It's the easiest one of all. I think he misspoke. He usually says it's the one I thought was the easiest.
Weren't rigged.
Sorry, it's the easiest, though. Now it's the easiest.
If I were president, that war would have never happened. Not even a little chance. And it didn't happen for 4 years. But I knew Putin very well, and I thought that would be easy because I know him so well.
Thought it would be easy.
That one turned out to be the hardest of them all. We had...
yeah, because basically the Gazan war is over. I mean, right? It's basically done. I mean, put a pin in it. It's done.
Some that were not settlable, and they all got settled.
Not settlable. Yeah, Albania and Azerbaijan.
So if this works out that we did yesterday with the Middle East, then that's more than a war. That's lots of wars. That's all combined.
Oh, thanks, Ron.
That's a lot of wars. Many of you were over there in many different capacities in many different countries. That's a big part of the earth.
It is. It is. I mean, say what you will, but when you're right, you're right. It's a big part of the earth. Fuck me. He just wants to give a speech in front of a big fucking Patton flag.
But if that works out, it would be 8+. I could give myself 2 or 3 for that one.
You're going to give yourself 2 or 3 A+, are you? So you're grading your own scale at this point for the thing that you said would be easy, and you said you could solve in one fucking phone call. You still can't solve it, and if it ever does get solved because Russia collapses or loses because the Europeans are still backing Ukraine, you're going to give yourself multiple A+. Jesus.
And then we just have the one to settle, and we have to settle it up with President Putin. And so
Yeah, just the one left. I mean, basically, Middle East peace is handled.
you got to get them together and get it done. But the only way we can do that is through strength. I mean, if we were weak, they wouldn't even take my phone call. But
First of all, who's we? Secondly, the Ukrainians are fighting this war. All right. Like at this point, I don't even know why the fuck. Like, so what are you gonna? Are you saying that we need the ability to threaten the existence of Russia just to bring them to the table? That effectively what this is all about is you're threatening Russia with annihilation, so they'll take your call.
we have extreme strength. We had the horror show in Afghanistan, which is really the reason I think that Putin went in. He saw that horror show by Biden and his team.
That horror show? You mean us leaving?
Competent people. And that showed, I think it gave him a path in. I wasn't there any longer. I watched that, and it was so horrible. I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And now we're back. And that's it. We're not going to have any of that crap happen, I can tell you. That was terrible, so terrible.
Jesus Christ. It's like listening to him ramble in a corner of a bar by himself. Also, for all the Trump's the peace president assholes that maggots still have hanging on, you do realize this asshole wants to go back into Afghanistan. That the embarrassing part was that we actually managed to leave, not the method by which we left, none of that stuff. Because ever since he's been saying we were going to get out with beauty and strength, and we're going to like gold leaf everything on our way out the door, but we were going to keep Bagram. Which, by the way, explain to me how you can leave a country and stay.
Together we're reawakening the warrior spirit, and this is a spirit that won and built this nation, and from the cavalry that tamed the Great Plains to
Oh boy, we're getting the Wikipedia stuff now. Like
the ferocious, unyielding power of Patton Bradley and the great General Douglas MacArthur. These are all great men.
Yes, they know. These men who are in the audience, by and large, patterned their life after these people. You tried to avoid actually being in. Hold on, I want to bring this up. Where is this? I think I have it somewhere. Yeah.
Military institutions and their installations.
Hydrosonic, I call it super duper.
That was back when he actually spoke at the pace of a living being.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
Not since the ass force.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
Oh, yeah, and then I thought we had where is it? Our army manned the airports. I've got that. Oh, here it is.
Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Look, you can't argue with history. Okay.
In this effort, we're a team, and so my message to you is very simple. I am with you. I support you. And as president, I have your backs 100%. You'll never see me even waver a little bit. It's the way it is.
You just sent warships to fucking Venezuela to do the DEA's job.
That includes our
And you've got them fucking shooting like fishing boats out of the water. Whether they have drugs in them or not, nobody fucking knows.
police
It's
officers
certainly not warships, that's for goddamn sure.
and firemen and all of these people that are doing so well. Together over the next few years, we're going to make our military stronger, tougher, faster, fiercer, and more powerful than it has ever.
And smaller and bigger and slower and sneakier and louder and sexier and yet more subtle and coy.
Been before. I rebuilt our nuclear, as you probably know, but we'll upgrade that all
Yeah, they're pretty much up on their budgets and stuff. Yeah.
and just hope we never have to use it. We have to hope we never have to use it.
I see. So it's a message of hope, is what you're saying.
Because the power of that is so incredible.
It is. I'm sure a bunch of them were thinking that the last time they were actually stationed on a nuclear submarine before you called them away to listen to this fucking drivel. I was just sitting there next to the fucking nukes going, wow, incredible. What? Oh, I've got to go listen to this dickhead tell me they're incredible. Guys, bring me to the surface. A helicopter is taking me to a ship so I can catch a fucking plane to fly to DC so I can listen to the civilian leadership tell me how important my fucking job is while I was doing it. Trump is like the wife in Faulty Towers, calling, like, don't forget to hang the moose. I'm hanging it, you stupid woman. I'm in the middle of it right now.
You see things, I don't think they'd show it to you. I really wouldn't want them to show it to you.
What, footage of nukes being tested in the desert from 1950? What are you talking about?
But when you see the result of what's left, you never want to use that. Never. Never.
What are you talking about? There's no new footage, thank God, of nukes blowing up a city, asshole.
Never. We were a little bit threatened by Russia recently, and I sent a submarine, nuclear.
Yeah. Some of the guys in the audience were actually running those fucking subs, and you pulled them back so that they could listen to you ramble on about what a tough guy you are.
Submarine, the most lethal weapon ever made. Number one, you can't detect it. There's no way. We're 25 years ahead of Russia and China in submarines. Russia's actually second in submarines.
Can you do me a favor? Why don't you just tell these guys about golf? Because it's probably the only thing you know more about than some of them there. While you're at it, why don't you tell them, like how serious marching is, and how much energy it takes, and man, it's exhausting.
It's third, but they're coming up. They're coming up. They're way lower in nuclear too, but in 5 years they'll be equal. They're coming up, and you don't have to be that good with nuclear. You could have 1/20th what you have now and still do the damage that would be, that'd be so horrendous.
Well, then why rebuild the nuclear once they've reached a certain point? That isn't the return on investment negligible? I rebuilt nuclear, even though technically speaking they'll catch up with us in 5 years, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's way more than you need. Even with one, it's just once you get it started, it's all a cascade anyway. So.
But I announced that, based on his mention of nuclear, and it was really a stupid person that works for him mentioned the word nuclear. I moved a submarine or two. I won't say about the two.
You just said about the two, stupid. I won't say how many, two of them that I've sent. He does this all the time, by the way. I don't want to say, but I sent nuclear submarines. But I sent nuclear submarines.
Over to the coast of Russia.
Don't you mean the frontage?
Just to be careful, because we can't.
Just to be careful. No, that's a threat. You didn't move you didn't move like anti-ballistic missile batteries into Finland.
Let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word.
Why? Because you wish you could say it as often as you say the other one?
There are two N-words, and you can't use either of them.
You just used the first one, I guess, or the second one, depending on how you look at it, a bunch of times. So I guess we should expect at any point your brain fail is just going to lead to you using the other one in public.
You can't use either of them. And frankly,
you sound disappointed.
If it does get to use, we have more than anybody else.
I hope you mean nuclear.
We have better, we have newer, but it's something we don't ever want to even have to think about. But when somebody mentions it, that submarine started immediately thereafter.
Thereafter, it did. It started. So it's basically on autopilot. Like anybody. So Medvedev mentions nuking us or something, or threatening, and they just automatically start up. They just run by AI now.
And it's just lurking, but I'm sure we're not going to have to use it.
Oh, it's still there. Okay, thanks. Breaking news. What an asshole.
But it's an amazing. It's undetectable. Totally.
Well, it was until you told people basically where it was.
There's a totally detectable. We can detect them easily. We go right.
Yes, they are detectable. Meanwhile, you're detestable. So I guess we'll call it even.
The spot, but we have genius apparatus that doesn't allow detection. It doesn't allow
genius apparatus
detection at all by anybody. Above water or below water.
Yeah, even the guys in it don't know where it is. It's completely undetectable. It's like Wonder Woman's airplane. They have to wander around. Somebody have to swim out to it until they bump into something, and then they climb inside. Throw some baking soda on the porthole so I know how to get in. Bring us to surface. What do I use? The controls are invisible.
Incredible. We're way ahead of everybody in that.
Well, 5 years.
And other things. As a result of the exciting renewal of the spirit of our armed forces, and that's what it is.
It totally is. It's a renewal of the spirit of our armed forces. It's a renewal of the spirit.
It's really reaching that spirit, unprecedented.
Yeah, this feels like a reach.
Heights. Over the past 8 months, new enlistments, I'm so proud of this, have surged to record highs, the highest we've ever had.
They've met quota. It's not record highs.
And we used to have recruiting shortages. If you remember, about a year and a half ago,
because whenever unemployment gets really low, it's harder to recruit people in the military. But if unemployment starts to go back up, especially regionally throughout red states, then recruitment goes up because that's the only jobs available. By the way, which is one of the reasons why Trump has disdain for enlisted people, because he thinks it's a way for them to burst through the class barriers that he insists are good for, well, definitely good for Eric and Don.
At the beginning stage of a campaign, and things came out that you couldn't get people to join the armed forces. And by the way, the police also. Fire department. I always put the fire department in because they're great.
Yeah, thanks. Good. Yeah, basically, so let me guess, you're going to arm them with the N-word?
Right, and I got 95% of their vote, too. That helps. When you get 95% of their vote, you always have to mention them. But they're great. And they're brave in our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now. It's a big part of.
No, it is not.
But the firemen go up on ladders, and you have people shooting at them while they're up.
This is what happens when someone who lives in a bubble spends all their time on Twitter. Holy shit.
I don't even know if anybody heard that, and I said, don't talk about it much, but I think you have to. Our firemen.
Sorry, you guys didn't hear about this? I told people not to talk about it. Why? Because it doesn't happen?
Incredible. They're up in one of these ladders that goes way up to the sky.
No, I'm fairly certain it just goes up to the top of whatever building. Maybe that's why it's so dangerous. Are they base jumping or are they fighting fires? Oh God. We'll tell your son I said hi. Hello.
Rescuing people, and you have animals shooting at them, shooting bullets at firemen that are way up in death territory. You fall off that ladder.
Way up in death territory. That's what the like the sequel to Backdraft is called. Backdraft 2, Death Territory.
It's over. They don't even have to inspect you.
Yeah, they just leave you there, I guess. There's no way he could have made it. He's moaning. Leave him. He fell from death territory.
You hit the ground.
This is so awful. They don't even have to look. They know how you died. They just heard the thump.
People shooting bullets at him in some of these inner cities.
So they're not even going, was he shot? Did the bullet kill him? I don't know. Just, he hit the ground. I mean, but he's dead. That's all you need to know.
We're not going to let that happen. So I always mention the fire.
Well, apparently it did. Recently?
Because that's actually a big problem we have.
Is it? It's a big problem. Happens all the time, does it? So statistically, it's becoming what's being shot off of a ladder that is well above any structure and I guess right over the fire, perhaps, but well above where they could actually get off the thing without a parachute. Being shot while you're there is now, what is it, the third cause of death for firemen?
They are unbelievable. Like you, they're unbelievable people. For the first time.
Yes, like this is an unbelievable story.
Record in 2025, the Navy, Air Force, and Space Force all met or surpassed their recruiting goals 3 months.
Met or surpassed. Right. Met. They all met it. Like that's what he means as a record. Oh, I believe you, it gets worse.
Early. That never happened before.
It's happened a lot of times, especially like 9/11, other times. And again, it's when there's a shift in unemployment. 2009, there was a lot of people joining.
The Army did even better. Congratulations, Army. They met everything. And these were the highest standards because
they met everything.
We're making it larger. So these were much higher standards than you had 4 years ago, 3 years ago, during the sleepy Joe Biden era. And the Army did it 4 months early. And you remember, a year and a half ago, they said the big stories that we're way behind with the Army, Air Force, the Navy, the Marines. We're way behind.
Yeah, because apparently people had other options.
Coast Guard. And even Space Force. I love Space Force because that was my creation, you know.
Oh, yeah. It's better than the ass force.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
Yep, not since the ass force. Ass force, assemble! Not since the ass force.
Create something. I love it. And the people we put in there were good. I got that right. We put in great people initially, and we've really dominated. We really dominate in that sphere now.
The sphere? You mean the atmosphere?
We're way behind China and Russia, and now we dominate. Space Force turned out to be a very important thing. I said from the beginning, you know, when Biden came into office, he wanted to terminate it. He said, and this thing called Space Force, so we could get rid of that. And he got...
Yeah, I remember what he said. Remember that speech? And we get rid of that speech.
By the people in this room for even suggesting it, because it's very important, one of the most important.
Yeah, no. The commander-in-chief didn't catch shit from the leadership of the military. They don't ever, because they can't. They're not supposed to. They don't give a fuck. They're here to protect the country and live on, and they sign an oath. They declare an oath to the Constitution, protect the citizenry. They're not there because they like the fucking president. Otherwise, we'd have been in deep shit a long time ago.
And as time goes by, it'll get more and more important. But we're now at 106% of our recruiting targets.
Damn, 106%. Who are the other 6 guys?
For the year, and that's the best in far more than a generation. And for the Marines, morale is so strong that the Marine Corps will meet its 2026 retention targets before the end of October, which never happens. And that's the earliest it's ever happened
Retention.
in the history of our country.
Because people are staying in as opposed to getting out. Because the cost of living.
And it makes you feel good, you know. I felt guilty. I'd go make a speech in front of never people like you. You are the leaders. But
Yes, technically they are the leaders. You guys, not you guys. You guys are the leaders. I mean the rabble.
soldiers. And I felt embarrassed because there'd be stories about, you know, we couldn't fill up our Army, Navy, Air Force. We couldn't fill them.
Sorry, the soldiers told you this?
And it was headlines. It was during Biden's 4 years. The auto pen. I call him the auto pen. It's, how would you like to have your thing signed by an auto pen? You know, when I have a general and I have to sign for a general because we have beautiful paper, the gorgeous paper, I said throw.
Yes, the gorgeous paper. So, how big are these things or whatever? Are you tagging an underpass?
More gold on it, they deserve it. I want the A paper, not the D paper.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You don't want the D paper.
We used to sign a piece of garbage. I said, this man's going to be a general, right? Yeah. I don't want to use this. I want to use the big, beautiful, firm paper.
Yes. Yes. I think every general there feels a lot better about the fact that you were fondling his fucking promotion.
I want to use the real gold writing when you talk about the position, and they're beautiful. And, but how would you like to have that where some kid sitting in the back office is having it signed with an auto pen? I thought about it, and I thought about you people first, admirals, generals. I said, somebody works his whole life. He gets into maybe the academies or wherever, but however.
Yeah, wherever. I mean, whatever you guys do, I haven't paid that much attention.
Got there, and you go through years of work, and now you become an admiral or a general or whatever.
Yeah, you do.
And when you do, the President of the United States signs your commission, as you know, and that commission is.
Hold on one second. Are we up on Insta? I want to make sure that I'm checking that. Nope. Hold on. Nah, now we are. Sorry. Yeah, that was off. Beg your pardon. All right, we're here now. We're good. I had to throw that in there. There you go. Where'd he go? Here we go.
Beautifully displayed. And I sign it. Actually, I love my signature. I really do.
Jesus Christ. What a fucking toddler.
Loves my signature.
Everybody loves my signature. He says to people who lost troops in Afghanistan.
But I signed it very proudly, and I always think to myself, how can you have an auto pen sign this? It's just so disrespectful to me.
They don't. Those are hand signed. What you're talking about, the auto pen, is like invitations to shit.
It's totally disrespectful. And
by the way, raise your hand in the chat room, especially if you're a maggot, if you actually believe this asshole signed all 1,600 pardons from January 6th by hand. When did he do that? When some week in January, he sat down over the course of a day or two, and he just hand signed the Jan 6 pardon after just 1,600 of them. That's what he did during that time. No golf, no nothing. He just sat there. He's this big say, okay, who's this person? I don't give a shit. They beat their wife, whatever. Who gives a shit? Right? 1,600 of them.
That almost everything he did was signed by Otto Penn, except for what he gave his son, Hunter, pardon. He signed that one. And that's actually the worst signature I've ever seen. That was the bad. The Otto Penn looks much better.
Oh, so you're saying, technically speaking, that's definitely legit. He signed his own, so you can't go after his kid because he actually signed that one. That's your argument? Cool.
But as leaders, our commitment to every patriot who put on the uniform is to ensure that American military remains the most lethal and dominant on the planet, not merely for a few years, but for the decades and generations to come, for centuries. We must be
eternity. I mean, if we're going to have eternal peace in the Middle East, obviously we're going to have the strength to nuke them.
Strong that no nation will dare challenge us, so powerful that no enemy will dare threaten us, and so capable that no adversary can even think about beating us.
So we're basically just going to build a Death Star, is what you're saying.
And we've had it recently. I had India and Pakistan were going at it, and I called them both. And in this case, I used trade. I'm not going to trade with you. Used to two nuclear nations, big nuclear.
If you guys nuke each other, I'm not going to sell you chlorophyll tablets for your for people who have radiation sickness.
No, you cannot do that. I said,
oh my God. Sorry, who are you calling that can't speak proper English from either of those countries? No, you cannot do this. Who are you calling, please? I'm the president of the United States. Sure you are. Okay, dum-dum. Call back when you're not so stupid. No, you cannot do this. You must allow me to nuke my neighbor so that I can trade. Continue. You have to trade with me while I nuke my neighbor.
I can. You go into this freaking war that I'm hearing about. You know, actually,
they were already in it.
Shot down 7 planes. 7 planes. It was starting. There's a lot of bad blood. And I said, you do this, there's not going to be any trade. And
do what? They were literally in it.
Stop the war. It was raging for 4 days, but that was just the beginning.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that big 4-day war.
And we stopped it. It was a great thing. And the Prime Minister of Pakistan was here, along with the Field Marshal, who's a very important guy in Pakistan.
He totally is. What was his name again? What was this guy's name again?
And he was here 3 days ago. And I didn't even realize it as beautiful as he said it, but he said that to a group of people that were with us.
He said,
I had a beat off.
No, what did he say?
But a group. He said, this man saved millions of lives because he saved the war from going on. And that war was going to get very bad, very, very bad. President Trump saved millions and millions of lives. That was...
Sorry. So the field marshal was like, if you hadn't stopped us, we'd have nuked fucking Delhi.
Bad war. And I was very honored. I loved the...
We were going to nuke Calcutta. We were just going to we were going to find population centers and just nuke the shit out of them. If you hadn't called and threatened to take away our Ozempic shipments.
He said it. Susie Wiles was there. She said that was the most beautiful thing. We saved a lot of...
Sorry. Did she tell you that's what he said? Because it sounds like she's the one who hears a lot of this stuff. And she, relays it to you after she's done having a meeting?
Saved a lot of them. Even in Africa, we saved the Congo.
He did. He totally saved the Congo.
With Rwanda. They've been fighting for 31 years, 10 million people dead. I got that one done.
You did. You got it done, man. Obviously, militia groups still fighting there to this day. Same shit, still going on.
And very proud of it. So if this works out...
If. excuse me, you declared eternal peace yesterday. It's done.
Of 8 in 8 months. That's pretty good. Nobody's ever done that. Will you get the Nobel Prize? Absolutely not. They'll give it to some guy that didn't do a damn thing. They'll give it to a guy that wrote a book about the mind of Donald Trump and what it took to solve the wars. And he'll get the Nobel Prize will go to a writer. Now,
he's worried that Michael Wolff is going to get a Nobel Prize for exposing the Epstein stuff. And that's what that is. By the way, that's what that brain fart thought, whatever the fuck that was, that just came out of it. Where, well, a writer, who the fuck? That's why. He's afraid that Michael Wolff is going to get a Nobel Prize, and I think he's mixing it up with like a Pulitzer for exposing his connections to Epstein. That's what that is. Just so you know.
well, let's see what happens, but it's
Yeah, let's see. Uh-huh.
be a big insult to our country. I will tell you that. I don't want it. I want the country to get it.
Yes, to America, the Nobel Peace Prize. Sure.
But it should get it because there's never been anything like it. Think of it. So if this happens, I think it will. I don't say that lightly because I know more about deals than anybody. This is what my whole life was based on.
Oh, yeah. 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 That's what the eyebrow raise is. Uh-huh. I don't say that lightly. Huh?
And they can change, and this can certainly change.
Sure.
But we have just about everybody. We have one signature that we need, and
Yes, there are two parties, and one of them still hasn't signed on to it.
that signature will pay in hell if they don't sign. I hope they sign.
They'll pay in hell if they don't sign. I mean, the man knows deal making. Yeah.
For their own good, and we create something really good.
Sorry, by the way, what the fuck does that mean? If they don't sign, they've got 3 days to accept the deal, and then what? Is that what all the nukes are for?
But to have done 8 of them is just like such an honor.
It is. It is. It is.